Hello everyone, this is Alex Design Man. This is part 3 from Catia V5 electrical harness design series that I'm doing on the YouTube channel. Here we have the project that we saved last time in the part 2 of the video, so there is nothing to download on any of those videos. We started from a part 1 video and we created all of those solids, so this way it's easier for everyone and also for me. I don't have to provide files to download, and many times links stop working in the future. So in this way everybody creates its own files, so you will always have them. And in this video we are going to do a few operations just with the wire bundles. So we are going to modify them. I'm going to add a new one around here just to see how the commands for the wire bundles work. And before we begin, I would like to answer to many of the messages that I received from the part 1 and part 2. So if you want to send a message or ask something, please don't do it on the comments on the video, because I'm not watching those all the time, maybe 2 or 3 times a month. But what you can do is to contact me on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is the only place where I receive messages, and also on my email address, but I prefer LinkedIn. So this is how you can contact me on LinkedIn. It's very simple. So a lot of people have told me that they cannot contact me on LinkedIn for various reasons, and I'm going to show you right here how to do it. So first of all, the address, it's very straightforward and simple. So this is the link for my LinkedIn profile, and you can find this link on my YouTube channel, about tab, description. You can also find this link attached to many of the videos, especially this video series. And this is my LinkedIn page. You can see the same address here. So in order to send me a message in here, you would need to follow me. If it doesn't work, you can also connect. So to connect on any profile on LinkedIn, you just click here on more, and you'll have a button here that says connect. You'll also have the follow button, and then the message button is going to appear. So you do not need a LinkedIn premium account to contact me. This is just a thing that LinkedIn does. So they don't send messages to some people if you don't have a LinkedIn account. But if you connect, then the messaging button is going to be unlocked. So don't worry about that. So for example, here there is an account, so I don't know this person. I'm just randomly clicking here. If I click on more, it's going to be a follow button. And we also have the connect button here. Sometimes you'll find the connect button here. I don't know why LinkedIn does this, but you'll find it. And another way to contact me, it will be through my email address, which is this one here, but I prefer LinkedIn again because I receive a lot of messages and it's easier to me to respond if they're all on the same place. And another question that I've been asked is how to get my courses. So this video series that I do here on YouTube, it's more like a highlight for Catia V5 electrical harness design. I'm not going to go in all the details that I go into my courses, because that takes a lot of time and a lot of training. So this is just to show how Catia V5 electrical harness design works and how many details there are to this software. And it's not only the software, you also need to learn how to build harnesses, and I only teach that in the course. So if you want to get a job as a harness designer or to use those workbenches in Catia V5, those videos on YouTube will not be enough. So you're going to need training, and I have 3 courses about that. This is how much it needs to be learned, and this is how you can get the courses. So if you go on udemy.com and we write here Catia V5, and here you can find my courses. So this is the basic Catia V5 course for someone that has never used Catia V5. This is the only course that I have for beginners. So in here you are going to see all levels, because this is for beginners. And this is the first Catia V5 electrical harness design course, automotive and industrial. So this is an intermediate course. It means that you need to know Catia V5 basics, because in this course I'm not going again through the same stuff that I did here. So each course that I have, it's unique. We are not going again to the same stuff. So this one has almost 12 hours. So we go through all the commands, and we also do some projects for training, and also discuss about harness design. And after that I have the 2 advanced courses. So those are electrical harness design automotive projects, where we only do projects. So I don't teach again Catia V5 here. So this is expert. You need to know Catia V5 electrical harness design workbenches to be able to do this course. And also this one, that it's only dedicated to high voltage harness design for electric vehicles and hybrids. So in those two courses, we only do projects. In here, I'm showing you in details how harnesses are being designed. So to get a job, you'll need all of those courses. But, I will not be able to add all of those on YouTube. If you're interested, you'll find the link where you're going to be able to see the courses attached to the video. Also, you can contact me on LinkedIn for a discount coupon code if the price is too high. So I'm going to be able to give you the lowest price that Udemy allows. So that's around $10 or $12 per course. And now let's continue with this project here. So in the last video, we did those wires. So if you double click multiple times, you're going to get this window. So we are basically activating the file of the wire, which is this one here. So this is a cut part file. If we click here route definition, here we can see the points that we use to route this cable. So we have from this connector to this connector, those connectors are electrified. And the first thing I would like to show here is how to delete one of those bundles. So if we stay inside this file here, if we activate this file, the multi-branchable file, here on the toolbar we have a command called delete special. So if I click on this and then I click on the branch, we have here delete and delete special. If we press delete special, click OK, then the software is going to delete the branch together with all the links that the branch has. So you should not go here, right click and delete it from here, because if you do that, it's not going to also delete the publications and links. So you're going to end up with a project file with a lot of errors and a lot of issues. And also in any company, if you go to a Catia V5 interview, one of the things that the CAD manager is going to want to see if you know how to delete stuff, because he wants to be sure that you're not going to start to fill projects with errors. And again, I teach a lot of those things that you have to do at the interviews in my course. I truly believe it's impossible to not take a CAD interview with my courses. So I 100% believe it's impossible if you learn everything I teach. So this is specifically for electrical harness design. So now let's make this bundle here again. So I like to activate the multi-branchable cut part. So from here, this is the command branch definition that we add a new branch, and you want to see that appearing here. Let's keep the same 20 millimeters, bend radius ratio it's 2, route definition. So we click on the first electrified connector. We did this in the first video. And then on the second connector here. And in this case, we have a bundle. So now let's say that after we created this bundle, we want to add an intermediate point around here somewhere to make the bundle go from here through this point and then arrive at this connector, or even the other way around. So let's add that point here. First, I'm going to open the branch. Here we go to route definition, we have the points. So I want to look here. This is the first point, so point 9. If I click on it, it's going to show me the direction, the tangency, and I need to add here, add after. So I'm going to add a point after this one. So to add something, you need to already have the retainer or whatever is going to hold this cable in reality. You already need to have this one here to click on it. But if you don't, let's say you are only making like a study. In this case, as I showed in the previous video, we hold down the control key and we can add 3 points on every kind of surface we want. So I'm going to add a point here, and now we have point 12. It's showing the direction. Have it selected here, add after. So I'm going to add another one here. Now the cable is a little red. This is because computed bend radius it's not respected, so it needs to be 40, but it's 39.9 because of the curves the cable it's making. And if you get that in a project, that can mean the cable it's not going to work in reality. But the software it's also doing this because of the random tangencies that were added to the points. So if I go here to the first point that we added, point 12, we can see here there is a tangency, is this arrow, which is calculated by the software. So I can remove this if I go here to more, I can remove tangent. Then I go to point 14, which is here. So I can also remove tangent from this point, and you'll see them disappearing from here where it says tangent direction. So now the cable is just going through that point, but it does not have a direction, it does not have a tangency. So now it's 39.99. So this is kind of a bug that the software does. If you don't have enough slack in the cable, it's going to give you this. So this is almost 40, so it should be okay. And to fix this, we need, here we can add slack. So there are two types of slack in Catia V5. There is slack that we add here directly on the bundle. So this is added to the entire branch from start to finish. And we have percentage here, so I can add a 1% slack. If I click apply, so 1% is going to be added to the entire cable. So you see now it's not red anymore because that slack will make the branch have smoother curves. So I can add 5%. So this means that the length of the cable is going to increase. So here we have the length, the current length is 588 millimeters, 0.9. And every percentage of slack that I add, so this is 5, I'm adding 5% from this value. So this would be, it is, if it's 588, 5% is going to be around 29 millimeters. So it's going to be 588, it's going to increase by around 29 millimeters. And you also can see the cable changing its shape. And another type of slack here, it's to add directly the length that you want for the cable. So if you click on this one, we change the length, and it's going to show you after that what that means in a percentage of slack. Another one, it's bend. So bend, I explain this more in the course, I give more examples. This means this needs some more examples. When you have a bundle that you know that is going to bend in reality, you select this here because you want to avoid all the errors that Catia can give you. So let's keep for now the slack in percentages. So this is going to be, let's add here 5% slack, click OK. So now the cable has a little more slack. One issue here is when you don't have tangencies is that the cable can take any direction, and as you can see here it's clashing with the surface. So to avoid this you need to add directions inside the cable, tangencies. In automotive you need to be careful with that because you don't want the cable clashing with the body in white, because after that whoever projects the carpet or whatever is going on top of the cable, it's not going to take the clash in consideration, so he can just build something over it exactly as you can see it here, and then in reality your cable it's not going to fit because he used the cable exactly as it is to design whatever he's designing. And normally in a professional environment he's probably going to contact you and tell you, look, this does not look right, but you are the one that is responsible, so it's not anybody else. So let's try to fix this. I'm going to add some tangencies that we have around here. So for this point I'm going to add as a tangency the x-axis, so I can use every line that I have here to add the tangency. For example, I can use this line on this connector, but I cannot click on it because this is electrified, so it's seeing it as an electrified connector, but I can use this line here from the surface. So now you see this point 12. So you can see the error that I did here. When you add the tangency, you want to make sure that the point is selected here when you click, otherwise it's going to add the tangency to whatever you have. So by mistake I had this point number 10 selected, and when I clicked it changed its tangency. So I'm using this as a lesson because you will make a lot of those mistakes, so they cost you time, you have to fix everything back. So in order to fix this, I'll click on point 10, I do replace, and I click on the connector again. So now it's getting fixed here. And then let's go to point 12. This is point 12, and I'm going to click on the line again. And you can see here that we have the tangency, but it's added in the opposite direction. That's why it's messed up here. So I'm just going to click. I can see the arrow here, but it's red like the cable, so that sometimes you'll not be able to see it. Those are the colors that Catia uses, but you can also have it here. So you have reverse tangent. So I'm going to click on this, and now you see it's correct. And point 14, for point 14, I'm going to use this other direction. So I'm going to use this line here or an axis. So again, it's a reverse. So I'm going to click on the point, reverse tangent. And now let's click OK. And we can see computed band radius is 35. And that is happening because we have too much slack. So let's reset the slack. Let's go back to 0 with the slack. Click apply. So this is how the cable looks naturally without any slack. So you can add 1%, can add 2%, can add the maximum. So you see it starts to look better and better, smoother and smoother. But this is one type of slack. So let's take this to 0. Click OK. So this is adding the slack everywhere on the bundle. But what if I want to add slack in between the points? So I want to add the value of slack here, one here, and one here, because this cable has 3 segments. So for that we use local slack. So local slack, it's in electrical harness assembly workbench. So you can switch the workbench, or if you activate a product, you should have the software should automatically switch to that workbench. And here is the command, add local slack. So if I click on this, I need to click on the segment where slack is going to be added. So let's say we add from here to here. Here we have add slack. So this is in millimeters, this is not in percentages. So let's add 5 extra millimeters of length in this cable. So slack, it's basically extra length. Click OK. You see it's getting better. Maybe I can add 15. So you see now it has like 90%, 90 degrees bend. So this is what probably you want. And then I click again and I click on this segment. Let's add here some slack. So this we need less slack here. So you want to look around. Let's add 3 millimeters. So 3 millimeters here looks okay. Add local slack and this one. So let's add 5 millimeters here. So you see 5 millimeters looks right. So you see now the bundle, it's not clashing. And this is how you adjust the cable. So you cannot see anywhere in the tree the slack that was added, but you can verify that by clicking on that. So you click on add local slack and you click on a bundle, and it will show you here if you have any local slack on it. So you want to be careful with that. And that will also show on the total length here, but it's not going to show here. So you want to be careful to not add slack here and local slack in the same time. Click OK. So if you want to add a point on a bundle, but you don't want that to be on a surface like we had here, but just in thin space. So let's say you're doing a study for something, because this is how every project starts. Maybe you don't have all the parts, you don't have all the retainers, but you need to design a cable to occupy the space that you need. So in a company, this is how you are going to design it. You're going to have the project, the mechanical project, like a part of automotive vehicle, and your boss is going to tell you, look, we need to add a cable in there so that everybody sees there is a cable in there. And you'll not have fixings, you'll not have retainers, maybe even connectors, they will not be there, but you'll need to add the cable. So in order to do that inside this bundle, so this is inside the multi-branchable, this is a part file, so we can add any type of elements that are from part design. So in this workbench, the electrical 3D design part, so let's see those here. So those are the workbenches, those are the newer workbenches. So this one, electrical assembly design and electrical part design, those are the older workbenches. And those two are those old workbenches with some extra stuff inside. So if I switch to electrical part design, yes, you have here all the commands, but if I go to electrical 3D design part, let me move this here again. So you're going to move the toolbar for each workbench. So here you have the same commands, but you also have this toolbar with a point, a line, and a plane. So this is what they added new in the same workbench. If you don't find it in your Catia V5 installation, you just need to go to part design. So let's go to part design, and you need to have this part file selected. So this is basic Catia V5 knowledge. So from here I need the point, the line, and the plane, and I'm going to add a point here. So I'm going to add like a small sketch in a thin air here. So for that I'm going to need the plane, And I want to add the plane on a mechanical part like a sheet metal or something like that. So I'm going to add it here. Let's move it here. And the offset around here is going to be, move it a little back. Let's say right in the middle of the cable. Click OK. And let's add the sketch on this. So here we are in sketch mode. And I'm going to add the point around here somewhere. So if I go here in the sketch mode, I want to add a circle. And let's make this 20 millimeters, exactly as the cable is. So you only need the point, but I like to add circles for reference. So this is the cable. And I like to add the circle because I can just add the dimension between the circle and this surface here. So now I can control it with a dimension. If it's 0, the cable is going to touch the surface. But if it's 10, cable is going to be 10 millimeters away from the surface. So let's do 20. And I want the point in the middle of the circle to transform it into a standard element, so I can see it outside of the sketch. So I can also control this position, but I'm going to leave it like this for now. Exit the sketch. Here we have the sketch. Open the cable, root definition, and we have this point here that we don't need anymore. So I'm going to replace this one. Click replace with this point here that we just created. And you see the cable is just going through the point, but I need to add a tangency. So I'm going to use this plane as a tangency. So it's going to be the other way around. I'm going to do reverse tangent. So now we added a point like this. Computed bend radius is 39.9. So it might be the same thing. We just need to add like just a pinch of slack. Just a 1%. Let's see if we can fix it like this. No, so it's becoming worse. So let's go inside the sketch and let's just move this to the left. Exit sketch. Let's move the plane. So you see I'm controlling all the points. So even if I'm moving the plane, you see how the cable is changing in real time. So I just solved the bending radius issue. So here it's red. If I move it a little forward, now the cable is green. So by green I mean here. So now the bend radius is 43. So we are in parameters. So when you work in companies, you're going to get parameters for the cable. A lot of people ask me, how do you calculate the bending radius? Because they hear that in an interview or something. That's not the question you should ask. You need to understand what that is first and where it's coming from. Because it's coming from the cable supplier, from the cable manufacturer. They are going to tell you what's the bending radius. And I teach that in the courses because that's a long story. So I teach all the aspects of the bending radius. I also have a video on my channel here where I show how to calculate and do the bending radius in a short video. Click OK. So here we have a modified bundle with a point that's added in thin air. So you can do something like this, and after that a mechanical design engineer is going to be able to design some kind of support or some kind of retainer in here. So maybe it's going to add a punch in this sheet metal, and you're going to have some kind of retainer sitting on that punch. So this is how you edit and modify cables. This is not everything that Catia has. We also have the bundle segment definition, where you can see all the segments that the cable has, because it's not defined by the points, the segments. You can add, so we can add branch point. Maybe you'll have a thicker cable and then two cables that is going to split into smaller cables. So you need to add branching points in there. We have remove branch point, and that's being managed from here, from bundle segment definition. But I'm going to cover this in a different video because this one it's getting too long. And first, in the next video, we are going to design very quick a retainer. We are going to electrify that retainer and add it to a project to see how you add retainers inside the project. So as you can see in those videos, I'm combining software knowledge with some real job knowledge. I'm teaching you the exact thing that you would do when you work on a job. So I'm not just showing the software here because that's not enough for a job. So this is it. Don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you get notified when I post the next video. And follow me on LinkedIn for messages and discount coupon codes. Please don't write here on YouTube because I'm not verifying this a lot. I also have a job, so I work as design engineer, so I have a lot of work at the job, and I also make those videos. So I'm trying to keep messages in one place, and that's on LinkedIn. Follow me there. I hope you find this useful, and see you in the next video.